Going through college life is a fun experience with friends, but the pressure from classes and the weight from all the work can be pretty overbearing sometimes. That's why on this Northwest Wednesday, I'm sitting down with Rachel Allen, Student Counseling and Disability Services Counselor at Northwest Mississippi Community College's Senatobia campus. Rachel, thank you for joining us.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me.
Well, mental health is a pretty important topic these days, and it should be. It should be top of mind for everybody. But you guys are kind of taking it a step further at Northwest Mississippi Community College by really just looking after the students as a whole, not just giving them a place to go to school and an education and nutrition and stuff like that. But you guys are really taking care of the mental health as well, right?
Right. It's important to take care of mental health. You can't be successful in other avenues if you're not mentally healthy.
That's right. So let's kind of talk about some of the ways that you guys are able to accomplish that at Northwest.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I apologize.
No, you're good.
So we offer individual counseling or academic counseling. That can be related to problems at campus, with college, with classes, with friends, or it can be of a personal nature away from campus. And we have students that come in, with mental health disorders, and we have students that just come in for stressful weeks, so we'll try to accommodate whatever it is that they need and just create a plan that's specific to them to address their mental health needs.
That's awesome. And do you guys work with those students' instructors as well? Like, is there like a conversation that goes on there? Because as you mentioned, when you're kind of dealing with some of those things, sometimes it can kind of be hard to get your schoolwork done. Yes.
As we need to, we make a plan with those instructors, include them in that, and our instructors are very supportive of students that are seeking counseling services in any way that they can accommodate that. And then sometimes that means also working with students' families or the directors of certain programs, and overwhelmingly our staff and faculty have been excellent at supporting our students.
Well, let's kind of talk about how, maybe we've got some students who are watching right now and they're kind of struggling with finding that student life balance. You guys really help students kind of get a grasp on that at Northwest. So let's kind of talk about how they can start to get a better understanding of that.
And I think life and work balance is difficult for everybody.
Absolutely, it is. It's difficult for us as adults, right?
It is. So it's an excellent opportunity for students to take advantage of these services and go ahead and learn some of those crucial core skills before they are out in the workforce. So sometimes students will come in and just be overwhelmed because they feel like they have so much work, and sometimes it's just like a time management issue, or just sitting down and creating a schedule that works for them instead of feeling like, looking at the big picture of everything that they have going on and feeling overwhelmed, because sometimes that's all it is, and we just have to break it down for them. Other times we literally will sit down with the student and make that schedule that includes time for self-care, that includes time for socialization and family and meals and adequate sleep, those kind of things that we forget about sometimes in the midst of other things. And so sometimes that's literally just sitting down with them and making a schedule that they can put together and look at every day that includes those important factors to help keep them on track and feeling more balanced instead of just work and school focused.
Yeah, and you mentioned meals, adequate sleep.
Yes.
Let's kind of talk about some of those other things that you need as a human being that kind of fall into that self-care category, because that's something, as you mentioned, people forget about a lot.
Yes. I think self-care is one of the most underrated things that we often do just put to the side when life gets busy, and it does. But when we take the time to take a step back and look at what we actually need, we're going to be more successful in other areas of our lives. And that means basic self-care like eating regularly, sleeping, going to bed around the same time every day, waking up around the same time every day in that adequate amount of sleep. But it also means doing things that we enjoy, something that feeds our soul and that makes us feel more like ourself, and we need both of those basic self-cares, and we need those extra things as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, self-care is really, really important. And real quick before we let you go, are these services, you mentioned both group settings, you mentioned individual settings. Are these services free to students?
Yes.
Wow.
Any student that's enrolled in a term at Northwest on any of our campuses, even our online students, have access to free counseling services through Northwest.
That's phenomenal.
It is.
That's really great that you guys are taking care of students, again, both their education and their mental health as well.
Yes.
So Rachel, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me.
Stick around, guys. We've got more Bluff City Live coming up whenever we return.